It's almost been a month and I haven't posted. Somewhere when I slipped up, I procrastinated and I didn't do the thing which I always wanted to do, that is being consistent. I was preaching you, but I also failed. So here's me getting back again, and I'll be posting regularly from now on. So let's get back to the video. The thing is, every day I'm working hard. I work out, I journal, I meditate, I socialize with people once or twice a week, completely strangers, and also I do work. But and I'm growing. It's not like I'm not growing. I'm improving myself every single day. But still, somewhere, even after working so hard, I am not feeling fulfilled. I'm feeling empty. So I researched and analyzed and thought as to why was this happening. Here's something that I learned and also implementing it right now in my life. So in this video, you're not going to learn the exact roadmap or the solution to the point solution that might help you overcome this emptiness, but rather you would just learn a way as to how you can fight your own emptiness, and this is just a answer that you have to find by your own self. So yeah, let's get started. Before I start, I just wanted to say something which is very important, that is, the more you try to ignore those feelings, the more it will consume you. I'm telling you, it is real. The more you try to ignore this feeling, the more it will consume you. So if you're thinking that it will go away by becoming more rich, being a famous personality, doing all those pleasurable activities that you can think of, going and talking to women, no, it is not going to go away. It will never go away unless you change certain things in your life. So the first thing is, why is this even happening? Now there are multiple reasons to it, but according to me, it is happening because somewhere I'm disconnecting from the truth, and it might be same for you also. What I mean by that is, so there's a version of you that you're putting yourself out there in front of the whole world, but in the dark, when you're alone, there's something that you're not doing. You're not being accountable for your own actions. You're not able to accept the fact that this is me. There's a side of me, there's a dark side of me, which you're not accepting. That, okay, this is my identity, this has to be inside my identity, but somewhere you're not accepting and rejecting it as much as possible. But the truth is, it is there. Now, this is happening because somewhere there's ego that is coming in between. So there's the constant conflict between your ego and the true self that you are there. So your ego is the masked version of you, which is in front of the whole world, and there's this true self of yours, which you are there only when you are with yourself. So there's this constant conflict that is happening between you. And this is the point where you have to integrate yourself. That is, you have to accept it and try to integrate it within yourself. That is the only way you can go forward from this thing. Now, there are other things too, which I told you before, that might lead you to this emptiness, which I'm going to discuss now. But this is something which was happening to me, and it might help you too. The second thing is goal. Now we have programmed ourselves in such a way that it might be because of the society, it might be because of the friends, and I don't know who to blame. But the problem is, we are responsible for it, right? At the end of it, we have to take that responsibility. So you cannot blame and be in the past, rather take responsibility and change it. So we all men have progressed, we all men have programmed ourselves in such a way that we equate our worth with respect to the goals we have achieved. And every time we achieve a goal, we feel happiness, or we feel that satisfaction for a temporary amount of time. It might be a day, maybe 3 days, 4 days max, and then suddenly you are pursuing that next goal. You are trying to go and reach the next goal, and there's emptiness again. It is okay to be this way, but there's a thing that is causing this problem. That is, if you try to push yourself every single time, if you try to put yourself out there and say that, no, this is enough, I want to go more, I want to go more, which is fair. But the problem is, when you're pursuing your goal, you forget the whole process only. We are just focusing on the results. And while we are focusing on the results, every time we get those results, you get a little bit of happiness, a little bit of small dopamine release, and then again you're like, there's nothing that is making happy. So there will be a point in your life where you have achieved millions, you have earned millions, you have earned billions of dollars, rupees, and then you still feel unsatisfied. You might have everything in your life and you still feel unsatisfied. What will you do then? Then there comes this another problem, that where your society or your parents have pressured you into making you go in one goal, making you do that one thing which you don't even like, or you're just doing it for the sake of them. So if you think about it, whenever we are doing something for someone else and not for us, we are unsatisfied because it is not aligned with you. You're doing it just so that you can provide or you can do things for others, and it is not aligning with yourself. So majority men right now are facing this problem. You are focusing on someone else. Someone has showed you this dream and you're trying to go and pursue it, and you don't even know if it is right or wrong for you, or if this is what you want. And that misalignment is also a problem where you are not able to feel satisfied. Second, emotional numbness. Now again, society has taught us to be emotionally strong, and vulnerability is a weakness. Now can we blame the society? Nothing is going to come out of it, right? Again, we have to take on our own responsibility and move forward. That is the only way we can do things. And just because vulnerability is a weakness, someone has told that, and someone has portrayed it in a way, we all are trying to suppress our emotions. So whenever we feel sad, whenever we feel bad about something, we try to suppress it. What is happening now? Now we humans aren't capable of suppressing one emotion. We suppress all at once. So whenever you're feeling bad or something happens or some situation arises where you feel bad, frustrated, angry, irritated, annoyed, you feel all those emotions. And if I tell you to suppress only one emotion, that is being sad, and you can express the anger, it is not going to happen. You will express both the things or you won't express at all. Now what is happening is when you suppress every emotion, this won't affect you when you do it once. But if you keep doing it over years, something builds up within you, and you suddenly start feeling empty, because the suppressed emotions have accumulated so much, and you've suppressed it so much that suddenly you stop feeling those emotions at all, and that is when depression happens. So there will be a point in your life where you feel, and you haven't seen at least, or you have been through this, that where you are happy when you're on the outside, where you go out and have fun and enjoy, and you are showing yourself that you're happy, and you are genuinely happy. You might be happy, but deep down, there are things that you feel empty. There are things that you feel unsatisfied with. I know this happens. It has happened to me too. And it still happens at times. When I am going out with my friends, I am doing all the pleasurable activities and adventurous activities. I go out and go to water park, have fun and do all those things. But when I come back home and I sleep, there's emptiness within me. Third, burnout. There's this constant urge of growing more and becoming something, becoming great, or becoming that famous personality which you always wanted to be, or some famous successful person that you always wanted to be. There's something that you forget while you do it, that you don't take rest. You just keep pushing yourself to the utmost limit as far as possible, and I did it same way. And this is where that burnout feels then, because if you push yourself to such extent, your brain suddenly protects itself by stopping the motivation hormone, that is dopamine. So if you always keep your on button on for the brain, your motivation will suddenly drop, because will start protecting itself. Now this is just a bro science. It is not actually true, but in a way it is true. So if you can think of something like what has happened to me is, when I played football for straight 6 months, I didn't take a single day off, and I kept playing again after that also I took 1 or 2 days gap, and then I kept moving forward. I kept playing forward. What happened is, one day there was a day when I didn't feel like playing. I was like, I don't want to play this game anymore. I'm not liking it or loving it in a way. That is what I'm trying to say. The motivation goes off. You just don't like the thing which you loved it suddenly. And what you have to do during that time, you just have to rest. That is the only way you can again love that game. Because the love hasn't gone away. It is just that you have pushed yourself in such a way that suddenly it is just your brain started protecting itself. That is the body. Now burnout just doesn't come from that thing alone. It also comes from emotional exhaustion. So for us men, we always want to be the rock for all the loved ones. We want to be the leader. We want to be the reliable one. And by becoming that person, you somewhere pressurize yourself and that constant emotional burden leads you to becoming more empty from within. Now, how do we get over all of these things which I mentioned right now? Is first, I want you to accept the fact that something was wrong with you. I'm not saying that it could be wrong, it could be right, of course, but in majority cases, I know it would be wrong. That is the reason you didn't like show that dark side of yours in front of the whole society, because somewhere you were not okay with it. So what I want you to do is sit with yourself, find what is wrong with yourself and correct it. If it is wrong, correct it. If it isn't, integrate it with yourself. Even with it being wrong, you correct it and then integrate it with yourself. Show it in your identity. It should be felt by others, it should be seen by others, and be accountable and be responsible for your own actions which you did or which you might be doing. So yeah, first of all, I want you to accept it, correct it, integrate it with yourself, and only then you'll be able to overcome that emptiness. It will take some time, it is fine. Second is, I want you to be disciplined, not with working, but with yourself as well. Because somewhere you have disconnected with yourself. You have been continuously making progress, but you're only focusing on the results and you are forgetting the whole process part of it, the progress part of it. You aren't looking back at and seeing how much far you have come, and you're just pursuing the new thing that is present in yourself, or maybe the goal you're pursuing. And by that, what is happening is you're feeling empty. So I want you to be disciplined with yourself. I want you to be much more focused on your mental health as well as your work too. Because if you see, you might earn millions, you might earn billions, but the problem is, and you might be giving everything to your loved ones and providing and becoming the rock as well. But somewhere, if you're not happy, somewhere you are feeling empty, those things won't make you happy from within, and that would still make you feel bad. Third, I want you to redefine success. I want you to redefine your goals. Like I told you before, success have their own perspective, right? We all have our own perspective about success. We all have our own definitions of success. I don't want you to run behind some goals that are being set by someone else, because that is going to be very misaligned with your own perspective, and that is going to be making you much more empty, unfulfilled, satisfied. Imagine you wanted to become a singer, but you end up becoming an engineer. How would it feel? Like, you wanted to become a musician, you always wanted to become an athlete, but you end up becoming someone that is not even related to that thing. You're earning millions, you're earning lakhs, but whenever you think about it, there's some emptiness, there's some void within you, and there's nothing that you're able to do. And if you are that kind of a person, I want you to accept the fact that's what happened, and you need to find a new goal or be connected with music in a way. Just an example. Fourth, don't indulge yourself with mindless scrolling or watching movies. I know this is discomfort, I know it is very painful, but I want you to sit with yourself and stare at the wall just for 20 minutes and think as to what is happening, why is it happening, and what can I do to change this. Like I told you before, the more you ignore it, the more it will consume you. The next time it comes, it will be much more intense. So this is something that you shouldn't be ignoring. It will come up later on with so much intensity that you will have a problem in your life. You will have a very difficult time to cope up with it. So right now is the time where you just sit with the discomfort, ride that wave, understand what is wrong, change yourself, and become the man you always wanted to be. Now, this is not going to be easy. It is going to be difficult. Now, this is something that you need to understand. It might take some time as well. It might take some days, might take some months, might take some years. But there's something that you need to understand from this. If you can imagine yourself who is much more fulfiller, who is satisfied and who is happy with his life, this is it. And it will be worth it, trust me. Even though I haven't reached that point yet, even I am finding my own solutions or answers to it, I feel it will be worth it. I believe you can too. I know you can get out of this and be happier, because I want you to be happy. I want you to be much more satisfied and fulfilled.